You sat down to do one thing, you had a plan, you knew exactly what needed to get done, and then something happened. It's not laziness, it's not weakness, it's how your brain was built. Your brain was never designed to focus. We build systems, we buy planners, we set timers, we download apps that are supposed to block the other apps, and still we drift. We open a tab we didn't mean to open, we find ourselves somewhere we didn't intend to go, and then we feel ashamed, as if the problem is a character flaw we haven't managed to fix yet. It isn't. Here is what is actually happening inside your head. In the 1970s, a neuroscientist named Michael Posner began studying something most people had never thought to question: attention itself. Not what we pay attention to, but what attention actually is, how it works, and what the brain does when nobody is asking it to do anything in particular. What he found was that your brain has a default mode, a state it naturally returns to the moment you stop concentrating on a specific task. And the job of that default mode is not rest, its job is to wander. Your brain's natural state is distraction. 200,000 years ago, one of your ancestors was sitting by a fire. Should she focus on the fire? No. The brain that survived wasn't the one that could lock onto a single task and block everything else out. It was the one that never stopped scanning, the one that kept a piece of its attention perpetually pointed outward, watching for the signal that might arrive at any moment from any direction. Never fully settled, always half watching. That brain is your brain. Here is where it gets genuinely strange. In 2001, researchers at Washington University put people inside brain scanners and told them to do nothing, no task, no goal, just rest. What they found changed the way neuroscience understood the human mind. The brain was more active when doing nothing than when concentrating on a task. Doing nothing, and the brain explodes with activity. It builds a live map of everything that might matter: your relationships, your unresolved conflicts, your future plans, your unfinished business. It processes the social world, it rehearses conversations, it models other people's mental states. It is not resting, it is doing something ancient and essential. Focus is the interruption, distraction is the default. And then we built the modern world. On top of that ancient, restless, perpetually scanning default mode, we layered open plan offices, Slack, email notifications, news feeds, and group chats. We created environments where the number of incoming signals in a single hour exceeds what your ancestor would have encountered in a week. And then we wondered why nobody can concentrate. Your brain was built to respond to signals. Every ping, every badge, every buzz, it responds. Not because you lack discipline, not because you are weak, because they found an ancient weakness and they built an entire economy around it. So, what do you actually do? One, stop fighting the wonder. The default mode network is not your enemy. Research has consistently shown that it handles creativity, empathy, problem solving, and long term planning. When you force yourself back to a task every time your mind drifts, you are interrupting a process your brain considers important. Every major scientific breakthrough, every creative insight in the history of human achievement came from a mind that was allowed to wander somewhere it wasn't supposed to go. Schedule the wander. Give it a dedicated place on your calendar. A walk, a shower, 10 minutes without a screen, so it stops stealing the time you meant to use for focused work. 2. Shrink the window. Gloria Mark, a researcher at UC Irvine, spent years following interrupted workers in real office environments. What she found was staggering. After a single interruption, it takes the average person 23 minutes to fully return to the task they were doing before. 23 minutes per interruption, 6 interruptions across a working day, and your entire cognitive capacity for deep work is gone. not because you ran out of willpower, because the switching cost is biological. Every time you break focus, your brain has to rebuild a mental model it already built and then abandoned. This is not a discipline problem, it is an architecture problem. Design your environment so the signals cannot reach you during the time you have set aside for focus. Phone in another room, one tab open, notifications off. Your brain cannot resist a signal it can see, so make the signals invisible. 3. Work with the rhythm. Your brain does not sustain focus the way a machine sustains processing power. It runs in cycles, roughly 90 minutes of peak cognitive capacity followed by a valley that demands rest. These are called ultradian rhythms and they are as biological as your heartbeat. If you push through the valley, if you force yourself to keep working when your brain is in the low phase of its cycle, you do not get more done. You collapse. You enter a state of degraded focus that feels like working but produces almost nothing. You have all experienced this, staring at a sentence you have read 6 times and still cannot parse. Words that no longer mean anything. Stop before the dip, rest deliberately, and you get another 90 minutes of genuine focus on the other side. You are not a machine that runs continuously, you run in waves. Tonight, when you sit down to work and you find yourself doing something else entirely, something you did not plan to do and cannot quite explain, and don't judge it, your brain is scanning. It is doing what 200,000 years of survival pressure trained it to do. It is checking the horizon, updating its map, asking the questions it was built to ask. The goal is not to stop it. You cannot stop it. The question is not how to eliminate the scanning drive. The question is what you point it at. Give the scanner something real, a real horizon through a window, a conversation with a person whose face you can read, a book with a genuinely uncertain ending, a problem that actually matters to you. Your brain is not broken, your brain is extraordinary. It built language and cities and art and science by doing exactly what it is doing right now, relentlessly scanning its environment for signals, refusing to settle, staying perpetually open to the next important thing. It is still watching the river. You just have to show it a better river.